Yes, I am. Can you hear me? Awesome. Hi, everyone. How's it going? My name is Omar Capra, originally from Jersey City, living in the Bronx now, the good old boogie down, um, where it's weird because I grew up in a very sheltered environment. My family was very religious, and so what I'm about to talk to you about was not okay when I was growing up, and it's just because men are one thing. I know we probably all heard this. Manly men provide. Um, they stuff their feelings down. They don't do feminine things, which who decides is my biggest problem. Who decides who gets to call what manly or feminine or um, when I was growing up and early in my adult years, I for a while I was a bouncer, and there's no more toxic atmosphere than a club, a bar, hanging out with 10 other bouncers who you have to like, I'm tough. And in my head, I'm like, I'm so scared. I don't want to be here. This isn't me. But it took me a while to realize it. I mean, I'm only started realizing this within the last year and a half. So if you think I sound insane, I probably do because I don't really know exactly what I'm talking about yet. I just know my personal experience is that I'm happier realizing starting to realize who I am, um, and doing things that society says is not cool. Um, and I know there's a lot of, especially now, there's a lot of trans and non-binary. I am non-binary. A lot of trans and non-binary people who are, especially of color, females, are being attacked and being, uh, you know, murdered, and it's just a nightmare out there. Um, And when I started this journey, I realized that that's kind of what I'm signing up for, in some strange way. But then I realized that my privilege is that I'm 6'8", and don't really have to worry about that. It took me a while to realize that, and I was just thinking someone's gonna beat me up, and then I was just like, wait, I think I'll be fine. But so then I try to, when I see it happen, I try to prevent it, and I'll try to you know, be an ally as best I could, to other people. And I proudly wear my pin so that people on the subway know, I have a little trans pin that so people know, like, hey, I'm good. I'm on your side. Let me help if you need it. Um, but yeah, like growing up, it was just like, and I have ADD, so I'm going to be all over the place. So apologies in advance. Um, Growing up, it was my mom was very like, don't do that. Girls do that. Boys don't do that. Boys do this. And for the longest, I resented her because I was just like, let me just be me. But then I realized as I got older and started going to therapy and, speaking to psychiatrists and taking medications, um, that she was trying to protect me, is what I kind of landed on, um, because she didn't want me to get beat up or get bullied or, you know, yada, yada, yada. Um, so I can understand that. But on the other side, there were men in my family who you knew were only doing it because, God forbid, he's gay, you know, which is basically Spanish men 101, I guess. So for me, it's kind of it's freeing to just kind of be like, you know what, I'm gonna start caring less about what people think. And now I'm not saying that I completely don't care because it's not natural, I don't think, to not care what other people are thinking of you. It's just you have to start caring less and just doing you and realizing that what you want to do is fine. And so recently I said, you know what? Getting manicures and pedicures make me feel amazing. So I want to do that for other people and help them feel amazing. So I signed up for nail school. Um, and the very first thing off top when I got there was, and I realized I'm in a female dominated world. So I tried to enter with like, this is y'all. If you have any questions, I can answer. I understand it's weird. Um, but they were very receiving. I mean, at first when I got there, they were like, what are you doing here?" And I was like, "I get it, big dude, all up in your space. I'll answer questions, no worries." Um, but after a while, they were accepting, and then these young, it's in the Bronx, so it's like young Spanish girls, and they don't understand what, I don't think, like trans and non-binary and just kind of doing you means for the most part, because they're like, men are this, men are that, and that's it. You know. So I was lucky enough and to then try to explain it to them in just words, but also just being and realizing, like, oh, he's cool even though he paints his nails. What is that? Like, so it's just, I don't know. For me, it is eye-opening, but I wouldn't be here without, and it's another thing I try to push very hard is mental illness and therapy and psychiatry and medications and like life changing, all of it life changing. I I'm bipolar, so I've been taking meds for that. I have ADD, I'm taking meds for that. And so with all that, it's helped me. So what I try to do is I will annoy people to no end about going to see a therapist, going to see a psychiatrist, because it's freeing. And in our community, we don't do that. Like, you don't air the dirty laundry, and the, Black, Hispanic, people of color community, you just don't do it. And so it was one of those things where I was like, I wish it happened sooner, if that makes any sense. But it didn't. But it's happening now, and it's happening when it's supposed to happen, and that's also okay, um, because you can't control it. You just have to learn from it and be better and move on. But yeah, that's me. That's just my point of view. Uh, that's all I got.